Hello everyone, this is Attila Gilanye from Hungary. This is a video about Tony Robbins, so-called Tony Robbins, the big guy who helped me and many millions others around the globe. Recently we learned that there is a BuzzFeed campaign taking him down, which is, I think, an impossible thing, because he's just spreading the light and the love and teaching us to do as well, like he does. Couple of things regarding Tony. How he helped me, it's an incredible thing, which is in 2015 I went to my first UPW event. Other people knows like the firework stuff, because I couldn't find any other help in my life. I was something like 37 with 2 children and wife, and I just lost my job after 12 years. I couldn't find the reason even. So I went for several kind of helpers, like psychologists, some spiritual guys, trainings, etc. But finally I felt a need that, okay, let's go to London and see this guy called Tony Robbins. I really don't know what happened on those 4 days, but first of all I was shocked when more than the half of the crowd raised their hands when Tony asked who is here, not just the first time, but second, third and more times. And then it came to my mind that something must be wrong, because if something could unleash the power within, then why is that way that many people has to repeat this every year? And then I thought it's something kind of manipulation, and I promised myself that I never will go back to UPW, because my power must be unleashed only after one event. But half year later, I realized that something is going on inside of me, and I want to go back to UPW again. I figured out how to apply for the crew, and in 2016 I went for crewing. There I learned that people close to Tony and Tony himself call Tony as a coach. Okay, I decided now learn to become a coach. I went for several courses later on, but also I decided to study mental health in much more deeper. So I went for the university to a Rogerian counselling 2 years course to become a mental health counselor. And it was very difficult to talk about Tony Robbins in an environment where nurses, other kind of helpers, quite the calm people around, just wanted to learn how to help to someone in need, which is not very common in a crowd where 10,000 people jumping. But finally I reached that my diploma work was written about Tony Robbins and the human needs psychology. And I gained summa cum laude after the end, because the result was that what Tony Robbins does today is very much the same what other people call mental help or psychological help. And our world today can't afford anymore the one-to-one helping relationships, because we are too many. And the only thing I want to say about Tony Robbins and the mental health or mental health helping is that whatever therapy you use or you go, like psychoanalysis, behaviorism, even energy psychology or transactional analysis, whatever. And first of all, Rogerian counselling. The first thing, and probably the only thing what common in all of these therapies or methods is rapport, is the relationship between the helper and the person in need. And believe or not, I'm 41. I went to 5 or 6 Tony Robbins events. There is no such strong rapport anywhere else in the world than any of Tony Robbins events. And I think this is the most important part of the help in any kind. So Tony helped to find myself. I was 18 when I lost my father in suicide. I spent the next 20 years about feeling sorry for myself, because my father pushed me into a situation that I have to become a man without any help. But 20 years later, after my first Tony Robbins event, I realized that my father's tragedy is just happened letting me understand what is my role on this earth. To help others, fathers, sons, mothers, daughters, getting rid of forceful thoughts, getting rid of the fear of suicide. And this is really why I became a mental health counselor. Thanks for Tony Robbins. Just one thing on BuzzFeed. This is more or less about the Me Too. And I think there is 2 parts of Me Too. One is that forcing anyone to having sex is very much out of my thinking. And mostly I'm thinking about physical forcing. I couldn't imagine how this could happen, how a man could think that this is the way to satisfy themselves. But as I learned in the US news, or let's say English news, Me Too is used for gaining significance by women who actually decided to have an affair with that man. And later they say, okay, sorry, I didn't want to. I need help. And I couldn't believe that all the men on earth could be for something after hearing the word no. So I think any kind of situation between a man and a woman, saying no is possible. And if this happens and the action stops, I don't think it's a part of the Me Too. So let's go back to Tony Robbins. Sir, let me wish you all my best. I fully believe that our world today needs you very much. And I wish you a really quick recovery. And I hope I will see you back on stage. Lastly, the English translation of my diploma work written about Tony Robbins and the humanist psychology is on its way. Within 2 weeks it will be ready. It's 70 pages. It's 70 pages that confirms that anything Tony Robbins does during his event or during his interventions is just as right as any kind of other helps. And I think that's the best thing what Tony has chosen to do. So if you're interested, you can read my paper within 2 weeks. And I wish that will be another checkpoint by making Tony Robbins the greatest man on earth lives today. Thank you very much. Hugs. Bye guys.